All right, my dear friends, it's time for our next speaker, Lana Shalumov. Lana is an instructor of Neurographica and a coach in Neurographica, graduating last year. And she will speak about NeuroTree of life, Neurographica, Sefirot, and Kabbalah. She will also speak more about herself, and I'm giving her the mic. 1 second while it's processing my request.
Hello, everybody. 1 second, I'm trying to.
Lana, you have a little bit of a low sound. Is it something you can do, or nothing changed?
Low sound, yeah.
Okay, I'll never mind. It's good. It's perfect.
It's good?
Yeah.
I can just talk louder, I'm thinking. Okay, hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to this wonderful conference we are leading today. I am so thankful to my colleagues for doing such an interesting teaching on Neurographica and Neurographic art and neuro art, and this is amazing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself before moving on and giving you more information, some more fun, some more interesting information about how you can draw neurographic art and how you can use neurographic art in your own life. My name is Lana Shalumov, and my background is in special education and bilingual education. I've been doing it for 20 years. I also came up with some original trainings of my own. I came up with training on learning how to read for children. I did preparations for gifted and talented, and also some nutrition for kids. Until I decided to shift my focus a little bit. When I discovered neurographic art, it was an interesting milestone in my life where I felt the need to do something different in my life, to maybe focus on something different. And I was very happy to discover Neurographica because it allowed me to uncover a part of myself that was somewhat hidden. This is the word I'm going to use. It was hidden inside of me, and it was kind of yearning to get out. And I was so happy to discover Neurographica, which allowed me to find the artistic side of myself, even though I did feel quite creative at what I used to do before, working with children, coming up with different interesting activities, different ways to get them engaged, different ways to allow them to uncover their potential. I kind of felt the need to maybe do the same thing for adults. And Neurographica came in my life, and I am very happy to have found it. And I'm very happy to have met other friends who not just live in US, but live right here in New York. And we have formed a wonderful school, Neurographica Americas. And we're very excited to welcome and to start teaching Neurographica in English. So my colleagues did a wonderful job explaining all the basics to you, what a neurographic line is. I'm just going to go over it a little bit. I'm going to lower down my camera and focus on my paper. And just wanted to kind of show you what I look like. And now we'll get back to drawing. And I am interested, maybe I should give you a little more break for drawing and tell you a little bit about what we're going to draw today. We are going to draw we're going to do a celebration of a holiday called Tu B'Shvat. It's a holiday in Israel that this is called the New Year of the Tree, or also called the Happy Birthday to the Tree. This is the holiday where we celebrate nature, which is funny, right? We're right in the middle of the winter, and if you're in New York, we're really right in the middle of the winter with a freezing cold temperature outside. But Israel being the Holy Land and also being a warmer land than we are here. But I think the point I'm going to try to make is a spiritual connection of the land of Israel, to the spirituality. And it's very important that when we celebrate the holiday of Tu B'Shvat, it's about nature, it's about earth, it's about trees, it's about waking up, and it's about kind of letting us know that it's time to get ready for spring. So this starts in the Holy Land, this starts in Israel, it starts the waking up. What happens? Why are we waking up and it's still winter? This is an interesting idea that I heard somebody else say it, one of the sages say that, when the seed goes in the ground, it doesn't know what's happening. It looks around and it's dark and it's kind of cold. It doesn't know what's happening to it. But with time, once the seed gets ready, gets used to the ground, gets used to the surrounding, and starts understanding and starts working with the ground, it starts blossoming. It starts giving, not a blossoming, but it starts growing a little bit. It starts growing a little bit, but it's still underground. It's still deep inside the soil. And at this point, what's happening? At this point, what's helping, what would work is a visioning, right? The work of each seed is to grow, to break through, to grow above the soil, above the earth, and to get to the sun, right? This is what happens in nature, right? Everything that grows tries to grow up, right? Tries to reach the sun, tries to kind of reach up, kind of to say. So while the seed is still in the ground, it has some vision to do. It still has some idea. It has to believe that there will be a time when you break through the soil and you start seeing the sun and you start growing to the sun. And this is the allegory what I'm going to use for us, right? Sometimes my colleagues here talked a lot about Neurographica being a technique that can help you get out of, indecision, can get, when you're not sure of yourself. It allows you to decrease the stress, the discomfort, and will help you to kind of go forward and help you, become more, grow, to build up some self-esteem, to build up some resilience, and would definitely help you to set up some reachable goals. Sometimes we set goals for ourselves. I mean, the new year just passed, right? It's funny that we just passed 1 year and we're talking about the new year for the trees. This is very relevant. Sometimes we set unattainable goals for us, and what Neurographica does, it allows us to kind of slow down, look at what's going on, and set some, realistic, reachable goals, and then kind of give some magical, this is how I call Neurographica, it's magical. It gives us some magical ways to reach the goal in a way where we can approach it and be happy and be looking forward. Thank you, Oksana. I'm trying to talk, and sometimes I get distracted by looking at your chat. So definitely keep them coming. I want to make sure that you are here, that you're with me, that you understand what I'm talking about, that you are clear. Let me know if you're sometimes maybe I go on and you are confused. Definitely let me know. It's a new topic. It's something that not everybody are aware of. And I definitely want you to be aware of the fact that, yes, this is the middle of the winter, but guess what? Spring is coming, and we are looking forward to seeing it, right? A few more months, right, guys? And I actually just thought about it, and I realized since I thought about it, I'm going to share it with you. It kind of reminds me of the Groundhog Day, right? In America, we have Groundhog Day, where you know, the groundhog comes out of its hibernation, and we see, if he sees his shadow, he may get scared and run away. And if he's brave enough, he will come out, and we're like, yes, the winter is going to finish very soon. So this is kind of similar, but for us, we're the groundhog. We're looking at our shadow, and we're understanding, is this our shadow, or is it something scary? So I'm going to give you a very interesting technique. This was also created by Pavel Piskarov. If you guys were here from the beginning, you got to actually hear him talk. You got to meet him. He's an amazing personality, not just because he invented this method, by the way, which is amazing. I saw him in person, and he's this really amazing personality. You know, he gives us this vibe, this energy. And being next to him, you kind of think, you know what? Yes, I can achieve that. And this is interesting that a person like this invented Neurographica, which is a technique that allows you, helps you to think, yes, I can do this. It's winter. It's freezing outside. But you know what? I know the spring is coming. And after the spring, there's summer. And there's the beach, right? So with these thoughts, I'm going to lower the camera, and we're going to look at the paper. I'm going to give you an interesting technique, and it will be tied to Tu B'Shvat. It will be tied to the trees, and we're going to go a tree inside ourselves, and it's going to be an amazing experience. Come join me. I'm just going to put you on hold for 2 minutes while I'm adjusting the videos here so you can be comfortably watching me. Okay, I need you, 1 second. Okay, I need you to let me know if you can see my paper clearly. If you can see my hands, you can put some pluses, you can put some anything, you can put Y for yes, you can say hooray, anything. Let me know that you can see me. Excellent. Just want to make sure you're clear. So I'm going to go over the basics very quickly. You've been having it so many times. Thank you for being patient. I am just thinking that we might have some newcomers who joined us who were not aware of what the neurographic line looks like. So I'm going to give you a quick overview. And this is the neurographic line. It's a line that looks, it's like wavy would be like a very simple way to describe it. If you can see, it's not a pattern. This is an important part of our neurographic line. It cannot be a pattern. It cannot be repeating itself like this. This is not what we look like in the neurographic line. And we also try to avoid anything that would give it anything sharp, like triangle. This is not what we're looking for as well. We are looking for a line that kind of intuitively takes us all around the paper. The only thing we are going to control is that we do not make waves like this, where it looks like a pattern, but it looks more spontaneous like this. Okay, if you want, you can take some paper and practice. Just draw some lines, something wavy, but try not to lock yourself in the pattern, because that's one of the magical transformational ways of Neurographica. We try to get ourselves out of the routine and to build something new, to imagine, to bring something new to our life. So another important point about Neurographica is that we curve out. This is what I call. We try to avoid intersections by curving them out and creating. Alex did a great, amazing job by showing up close way of rounding or curving out the intersections. I'm just going to show you one big way, like this. Okay. Twice I'm going to do it. Ooh, look very carefully how I'm curving out the intersection to escape, or rather, not to escape, but rather transform the corners that we form by drawing a neurographic line. Okay, so this is it. Look how beautiful, look how harmonious this looks, right? Like if we see something like this, it's not bad, it's nice, but you know what? At one point we start realizing, and this is the genius factor of the Neurographica. This is how we acknowledge, all of us, the instructors of Neurographica, we acknowledge that Pavel Piskaryov, who is the founder, have come up with something genuine. You know, this is a genius way. He took something that would otherwise be called like a corner, something sharp. You know, we are not going to approach something that's sharp. And he found a way to transform it. How amazing is this? You can transform your life by taking something that's sharp, that's uncomfortable, that's a discomfort, right? What would be a different way of saying something sharp? Something discomfortable, right? Something that doesn't make us feel good. And he taught us how we can transform it into an amazing way by, look how harmonious this looks. It looks nice and comfortable, you know. By looking at this, we know everything will be okay. So I'm going to take a new paper now, and I am going to, and we are going to, you know what, I'm going to return this paper because I want to remind you, the other colleagues, the other instructors have taken you through other basic elements, which were triangle, square, and circle. In my work, I'm only focusing on circles. Okay, we are going to draw a tree, and circles will be our fruits, so to say, fruits of the labor. So just if you want to draw a circle, I'm just going to give you some techniques. Let's say, you know, that's what happened with me in the beginning, because my background was not in drawing at all. I never drew before this, you know. I was not an artist, and I learned how to draw, and in the beginning I would be upset because my circles would not come out as nice looking as, let's say, other instructors or Pavel's, who is an architect by his background, you know. So what Pavel gave us a very nice technique of learning how to draw a great circle, and you guys did that today. I'm just going to go over it once again. You can take a marker or a pencil. We're actually drawing with markers now, so we can take a marker and you can go a circle, and if it didn't come out good, just go over it again, over and over. And if you see with time going over and over again, it gives you a nice shape, and it actually makes your circle nice and solid. So that's a nice technique for you guys to use if that's something you're interested in. If you're interested in like making your circle more or less, you know, perfect. And I do say perfect with my quotation, because guess what? In art, there is nothing perfect. What perfection is in your own eyes, and this is an important part to remember. And we are going to draw. What I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you a new technique. It's called NeuroTree or Neurographic tree. I hope I'm being clear at this point. I am not trying to rush, but I do want to be able to fit in within this less than 1 hour left of the lesson what we're trying to do. We're going to draw something called a neurographic tree or a NeuroTree. This is a term that was coined also by Pavel Piskaryov, who came up with this technique, and it's absolutely ingenious. We are going to try to create a tree, but we're going to create it with our neurographic lines. And this is how it works. Now, when we draw a tree, usually people start drawing a tree, you know, this is the soil, right? So people start drawing a tree like this, right? And then they go like this, and then they, you know, I used to draw like this too, by the way. And then they make like a nice top where there are leaves, right? And I used to make apples. So what I want you to start drawing at this point, I'm going to show you. I want you to start drawing from the bottom, from the roots. Because remember what I told you before? The tree doesn't start from top of the soil. The tree really does start from under the soil, right? We're going to start drawing the seed. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by making neurographic lines, the wavy lines that I told you before, and we're going to go like this. We're going to start like this at this side of the paper, hope you see, and we're going to see it's a little bit neurographic, which means it's not straight, it's wavy. I'm going up, I'm making, I'm building the trunk of the tree, and now I'm continuing and I'm going on top to the branches. You see what's happening? I'm going to make at least from 7 to 10 lines like this. Okay, and while drawing this NeuroTree, think about your intention. Think about what is it that you are building up? What is it that you're growing? First and foremost, give yourself a topic. Give yourself a quest. I call it the quest. The quest is really a topic, a goal that you're looking for. But since I find that Neurographica is a magical tool. It's a magical process. I decided to give it some magical terms, and I call it quest. Give yourself a quest. Give yourself something that you're looking for. For example, I'm going. My quest for today will be. I'm actually going to see a Harry Potter play on Wednesday. I'm very excited about it. I've been looking forward to it the whole year. And, you know, I'm interested in making sure that my experience will be as good as I am thinking it will be. You know, I'm an avid Harry Potter fan. And I'm hoping, you know, I just reread the book, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Is there any Harry Potter fans out there? You guys can let me know. And I just reread the book, and I was thinking that I do hope that the play is actually going to meet my expectations. So at this point, I am thinking, what am I looking for by going to this play? You know, what are my expectations? So I am continuing to draw the neurographic lines. And like I said, I am focusing on the lines. I think Alex mentioned that before, and everybody actually, Marina and Margarita, that when we draw neurographic lines, we let the intuition take our hand, but we do make sure to watch out for like those locking patterns, right, that I showed you before that we do not want happening. And we'll continue drawing the lines. Guess what's happening? The lines are overlapping, and guess what? It's great. Because overlapping lines are quite what? Natural, right? That's what happens. Have you ever seen the root of the tree or just any plant? They do overlap, right? And that's what happens in life with human beings. We overlap with others in our life path. We overlap with different people. And this is a part of our lesson. This is a part of our life. We don't always know where the path is going to take us. And this is why neurographic line is realistic. You know, it's not just a drawing. We're not just drawing to relax. It's an excellent way to do that too. But we're also trying to find a way to transform what is happening in our life and bring it to the next level. Make it more realistic, more magical, right? They sound so opposites, like magical and realistic. That's not the same. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. You know what happens with Neurographica? Once you start drawing, you start noticing that your life all of a sudden takes a different path. All of a sudden becomes magical. And this is funny. I just realized that talking magical and my topic is Harry Potter. No, I did not plan it that way. But yeah, this is what happens. Often when you start drawing Neurographic, you start noticing that your mind start being more collective, so to say, start becoming more like visionary. You start understanding and you start seeing more in your life which you haven't noticed before. So I drew my tree. I'm stopping to draw the lines for now. If I want to, and I'm going to show it to you now, let's say later on you want to add more branches, so you're going to go like this, you see, take the line that we already have and expand on them. truly amazing. Look, I just drew a different branch, and this one is going somewhat up. And this is our tree. Now, this is what we draw. This is my vision tree. This is what I'm looking for. However, while I'm looking for changes in my life, sometimes things are called resistance. As human beings, we have deep resistance inside ourselves. And those resistance are sometimes called hesitations, right? Like when you want to do something and then you start hesitating and saying, gee, I don't know if I should do that. I'm not sure it's the right choice for me. Do I really should do it? I don't know. And we call our friend and we start asking them. And the friend starts saying, sure, you should do it, or no, you should stay away from it. And sometimes we don't reach a friend, right? And in general, Neurographica is a great tool because it will allow us to make a decision, even if we can't reach a friend or we need a quick decision. So this is what we're going to do. I drew the lines. I set my visionary. I want to have I'm looking for a quest. My quest is to go to the Harry Potter play and to have an amazing time, to make sure I'm happy, to make sure the play is going to be wonderful. And, I don't know if it's funny to you guys or not, but I want to make sure people who are sitting next to me are going to be nice and pleasant. I don't know if you're theater goers, but I am a theater goer, and that's important to me. I want to make sure that my neighbors at the play are going to be pleasant people, and I'm going to have, and my experience would be, great by that sense as well. So, how do I bring harmony and remove the resistance in my life? What I'm doing is I am going to curve, right? Remember I showed you the technique of curving? This is what we're going to do. The way I like to do it at this point is I'm going to start at the roots, exactly how I drew it, and curve out all the intersections that we went through by drawing the line. And while curving out, I'm going to tell you a little more about the topic, about the tree, the special tree that I'm growing, and the reason why I decided to draw a tree today, the holiday of Tu B'Shvat. Like I said, this is a holiday that is celebrated in Israel. And in Israel, just in general, in Jewish religion, there are 4 New Years. I don't know if you're aware of it, guys. You have one New Year, and it's nice and fun, right? Well, guess what? Jewish people celebrate 4 New Years. One New Year is something that a lot of people may be aware. It's called Rosh Hashanah. This is usually takes place in fall, and people gather and they go to synagogues, and this is considered to be the beginning of the new year. And this holiday was founded due to the fact that this is the exact date when the earth, the world, was created by God. So that's one New Year. Another New Year that some people may know is celebrated in spring. It's actually 2 weeks before the holiday of Passover. And it's very interesting because it's the holiday of spring, right? So one more New Year we're celebrating today is in the winter. And it's a holiday, the New Year of the trees. And the 4th New Year we celebrate is in the summer. It's called the month of Elul. Elul is actually 1 month before the Rosh Hashanah, the major New Year for the Jewish people. And Elul is an interesting month. It's a month of introspection, which I find to be very relevant because when we draw a neurographic line, this is exactly what we do in neurographic art. We introspect. We try to think, what are we doing? What is our quest? What is our goal? And how can I get to that? What am I looking for? And if you notice, I'm not just introspecting, but I'm also very carefully looking for the intersection and trying to curve them out, to add some harmony to them. And this is a way how we kind of, if we talk about psychology, this is the way how we kind of can talk to our subconscious, because our subconscious is that force that I was talking about, the resistance, that blocking force that kind of doesn't want us to change very much. And it's done to protect us. It's kind of telling us, why bother? I mean, you have a good life, so who cares you're not so happy? Who cares you're not so satisfied in life? You're alive and that's good enough. Just be happy with that. However, at this time, at this point in life, many people don't just want to be alive. We want to be alive and kicking. We want to be happy. And this is an interesting way to see how everybody's moving towards that direction, right? I mean, people don't want to just be alive. They want to be alive and kicking. They want to be happy. They look for happiness, for harmony in their life. And this is how this technique is just wonderful, because it allows us to get to that point. So I want to tell you an interesting story while we draw, and it has something to do with a tree. There was a sage, there was an old man traveling, and he was traveling in the desert. And he was going in the desert, and it was hot, as you can imagine. And the desert is very hot. And what happens in the desert? All you see around you is sand. There are no trees. There's no trees. There are no trees. There are no shadows. There's nowhere to drink water. So this sage, this old man was very tired. And he was thinking, oh, I wish there was a tree with a big trunk with nice big branches where I can sit down and rest in the shadow. And then maybe there's some water next to it. Maybe find something to eat. But there was nothing around except the desert. So the old man kept walking and walking. He had a journey he had to go. He was going to a special place where he can study what is it like to be closer to God. In Jewish religion, we call it yeshiva. It's a special places where people can go and study about Judaism. I mean, nowadays it's called seminaries, where people go for spiritual enlightenment, for spiritual, in Hinduism it's called like ashrams, or, special places where people go to get some spiritual upheaval. And that's what the old man, who actually himself was a teacher, was going to. And he was walking and walking until he came upon an actual tree, with a nice big tree, nice big trunk, with nice big branches that formed a beautiful shadow. And the old man was so happy to see it. And he sat in the shadow and he rested. And then he thought it would be so nice to drink. And he looked around, and he saw in the roots of the tree a little spring. And he got so happy, and he drank from the spring, and he was able to, quench his thirst. And then he thought, oh, it's so nice. I wish I could eat something. I'm so hungry. And he looked up, and he saw that there are beautiful fruits on top of the tree, which he promptly got up, he took, and he ate. And it was so wonderful, and he was so happy, so, would be satisfied. And he said, oh, what a wonderful tree you are. I would like to give you a blessing. And then he started thinking, but what can I bless you with? You already have everything the tree would need, right? You have the spring that gives you water. You have the wonderful trunk that keeps you strong. And you have fruits that are wonderful and big, and they grow on top of your tree. So what can I give you? What can I wish? What can I bless you with? And he thought carefully, and then he said, I know what to bless you with. I would like to bless you with a blessing that may all the seeds from the fruits, all the fruits that people ever ate, and there are seeds, and the seeds are probably all over the world. May all the seeds that are from your tree grow and become a wonderful tree like you are. A tree that gives so many resources. And this is an important word for us in neurographic art. Resources to people and to beings around him. So that's an important and interesting blessing. That's something, I'm telling you while we're curving out. And it's a nice meditative way to think about everything. What is a way, and like I said before, a tree is an allegory to us. Who are we? We're human beings, and we also come to this world to, to grow some roots, then grow out of the soil, build a nice trunk, a trunk that would be nice and strong and withhold a strong wind if need be. And we also want to have a spring next to us that would water us and give us necessary natural resources, right? What is a spring? A spring is a natural resource. It's a way that kind of give us nourishment naturally, right? Like when we drink water or we eat something. And then we also want to have fruits, right? We want to have fruits of our labor. We, as a family, we want to have kids. We want to be able to connect to our kids. And that's a wonderful blessing to be able to have kids who would be also great. This is, if you're parents or, God willing, you want to be parents, this is what we're looking for, right? Any parent can tell me what we're looking at our children is to just grow up a person that can become a wonderful person, right? Somebody who can become a wonderful person. And that's an important part. That's what, we are looking for, and that's what we want from ourselves too, right? We didn't just come to this world. We came to this world to bring resources and give nourishment and to help in a way to other people, right? To give our fruits to other people, to share them with everybody. So look at my tree. I have completely curved them out. I have completely added, the necessary transformational energy. Made the tree, if you remember before, there were just lines. Yes, we'll build a trunk, we'll build a tree, but they were just lines. Now, when we curve them out, look at this tree. I'm going to bring it closer to the camera. I want you to look up close. Do you see how integrated it is? And this is the right word for neurographic art. Integrated, right? It's a composition, right? Each line is not on its own anymore. Each line is working together with another line to build the tree that we just made. And that's why it's so important to go through the curving process, because honestly, and this is the magic of Neurographica, by drawing and curving out the lines, what we're doing is we're curving out the intersections, the sharpness inside ourselves. And that's an important part, because we want to make sure that we come to this world, we want to make sure that our new vision that will come true doesn't have any sharpness to it, but rather comes to us harmoniously. Harmony is an important concept that we constantly talk about in neurographic art. So we draw the tree, and now what we're going to do is we're going to fill it up. What are we filling it up with? We're going to fill it up with our fruits. And by our fruits, what I mean is we're going to add special fruits. What happens in Tu B'Shvat in Israel, people who gather together, not just in Israel, by the way, here in US as well, everywhere Jews live, they get together and they eat 7 special fruits, 7 special food that relates to the magical, to the Holy Land, to the spiritual part of what Israel, the land of Israel is. And the reason why this topic is called we're not just drawing Tu B'Shvat and the tree and we're talking about the 7 fruits. But I am going to bring in Sefirot here. We're not going to talk much about the Sefirot. Sefirot is a Kabbalistic term for the system that comprises all the beings or the things in this world. It's a whole new topic that if you're interested, you're welcome to follow me. You're welcome to join me. Have a group, and we're going to have a master class where we talk more about it. But I'm going to mention 7 types of food and how they are connected to the Sefirah. And by Sefirah, we're talking about a spiritual energy that those fruits represent. And by growing them, by drawing them, and not just drawing, but also growing, we are going to bring them as resources into our life, into our quest. So, how are we going to bring the resources? Exactly how I mentioned before. We're going to draw circles inside our tree. Okay, I will teach you how to do that. The first food is the wheat. Okay, the wheat is corresponds to the Sefirah called Chesed. Chesed means giving. It represents love. Chesed is something that we give, and I'm going to go back to the topic of parenthood. If you have children, you may know it. It's something that as parents we tend to do a lot. We tend to give a lot to our children, right? We don't expect much, at least not in the beginning, right? When you have this newborn baby or even a 1 or 2-year-old, we don't expect much. We just want to give this baby our love, our warmth, and just, yes, Oksana, I do. So, and that's what going to be a part of my specific in Neurographica, teaching Kabbalah through Neurographica, and it's truly amazing. So I'm going to put some resources here. I'm looking for some chesed, which means giving, which means love, okay? And I'm looking for, and that's represented by the food called wheat, right? What is wheat? It just grows from the soil, from the earth, right? God gives it to us, and we're so happy. I mean, everybody knows that the basic form of nourishment always was and always will be is wheat. It's something, it's bread, right? Something that we make from wheat. It's a staple food in actually every culture, every religion. So this is very interesting. I am going to, now I'm looking at my tree and I'm thinking, where do I want to put wheat? Where do I want to draw wheat? Wheat as in, as in chesed, is something I want to feel the energy of love. I want to feel the energy of giving, where somebody gives me something and I don't have to give anything back. This is the beauty of it. And you know what? This is very intuitive. I'm looking at it and something is telling me I'm going to put it here, and I see a nice big half a circle. Look around. It's so interesting in Neurographic art how cool it is to draw a circle, because half of the circle is already there. This is the point of the Neurographic line. We have half of the circle here, and I'm just going to go over it and then continue and round it out. Look at this. We gave our first resource, and this resource is chesed. This resource is unlimited and unconditional love. The love that we give to our children. And, sometimes when our parents grow old, I don't know how old you guys here are, but when you grow older and your parents grow older and you start giving back to your parents, and then you have a chance to give back to your parents and you have that same unconditional love to your parents, right? But I think the best example is toward the children. It's like love of a parent to the children, right? To the child. And this is, I'm going to write chesed, which means love. Okay, look for it as love, unconditional love. And if look around your picture, if anywhere you wanna put the resource, a circle as a resource for love, for nice unconditional love that you can get. This is an important resource. The next one is going to be barley. This is interesting, right? Because it's completely related to the wheat. Barley also grows from the soil on its own. And it used to be that in ancient time, barley was not such a good, wheat was something that people would take and make bread with, and it was considered to be very high quality. Barley was considered to be something that, you give to the animals, but it was a very important resource. Because barley was also like wheat, but it's a different quality, right? Nowadays, of course, with an importance of eating healthy, a lot of people consider barley to be more healthy than, let's say, wheat. But we're going to look at it that barley is just as important as wheat because it grows from the floor and it can give us that important staple food. It gives us, like it gives us that nourishment, right? So I'm going to, I don't know why, like I said, it's intuitive, but for some reason I want to draw a second resource right here. And it's interesting because barley is the sphera of Gura. Gura means self-resilience, so to say. Gura means self-regulation. Gura is also a form of self-discipline. Do you see how I'm saying the word self? I'm going to give you another allegory. If chesed is like water, right? If we pour water, what happens to water? It's going to spill all over, right? It's like just pours everywhere. But if we take a cup, the cup is a gvura, right? If we take a form and we fill it up with water, now this water has a practical, connotation to it. Now we can use that water. We can drink from that cup. We can use it for something else, right? We can utilize it for different ways. But now water has a form. And this is an important aspect of gvura. We take love that's unconditional and we'll give it some form. We'll give it some self-regulation. We'll give it some, some boundaries, so to say. And now love is not just, unconditional love and giving, because sometimes when that happens, that, it's also kindness. Another way to say chesed is be kind. Sometimes when there's too much kindness, right? Everybody knows that. So that kindness gets, becomes like overused. And in this case, gura, which means boundaries or self-regulation. In this case, gvura can help you shape your kindness, your love, that resource that you're looking for, shape it together and pour something new and amazing. It's a synthesis. It's called Tiferet. Tiferet means the combination of kindness and love that's unlimited, but taking it and giving it some form, self-regulating it, giving it some boundaries, and forming, it's kind of like, I don't know why, but it gives me an example. You know how you make patties? I'm a mother, so of course I make patties, beef patties. You take that big form of beef and, the ground beef, and then you start forming it with your hands, right? And then you make beautiful beef patties, or you make a burger, right? Isn't it yummy? But if you just take a blob of meat and just, try to grill it, it's not going to come out so nice, right? You want to make a nice round burger. And that's another sefirah. That's a sefirah that's a combination of these two. It's called the sefirah of Tiferet. Tiferet is the synthesis of chesed and gvura. And you can translate, one of the translations of Tiferet is beauty. It's this, aesthetic beauty. It's exactly, as artists, we can talk about aesthetic beauty because we are always looking for beauty, right? When we draw art, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for beauty that's inside us, to express it and to put it in our drawing, and to allow other people to partake in that beauty that we contain inside ourselves. So, I was looking for it. I'm going to tell you, I was talking to you, and I kept thinking, where do I put that resource of Tiferet? And this is an important part about neurographic art. Follow your intuition. It's very important to learn how to follow your intuition. This is how it gets developed. And intuition is an important part of who you are. Intuition is the way your soul expresses itself. So this is a circle. Tiferet, this is my resource. I'm very happy with it. I'm looking at it and I feel so happy. And this is a part of neurographic art when we start calling that we having a drive. That's right. That very popular word called drive, right? This is the part when we start feeling energized, when we start saying, wow, this is amazing. And we start having brainstorming. We start thinking, ooh, I wonder what else can I do here? I wonder how else I can get. And while I'm putting this resource, like I said, I'm being very concise because we have 1 hour. Just want to let you know the regular neurographic art action takes 3 hours. I'm not joking. From 2 to 3 hours, not less than 2 hours ever. So I'm trying to give you a very quick way of drawing this tree. And if you want more step by step, if you want more, more details, more understanding, what are we doing in each step? You're welcome to join me. You're welcome to join my colleagues. We are having a wonderful school here where we are so happy and we are so interested in sharing this knowledge with you. We're basically are a cup that's overflowing with water, to go back to my allegory. And we would love to share that water with you. So please join us. Please follow us. We have so much to share with you that we would love to hear you, for you to join us and for you to reflect back. What do you think about this? So this is Tiferet. I'm going to write it outside so you can see. It's called Tiferet, and it's translated as beauty. This inner and outer beauty, that beauty that you're looking for, that wonderful perfectionist beauty, kind of to say. I am looking at the time. I don't know how much time I have. Oh, I don't have that much time, but I'm going to go quickly. So the next fruit, we have 4 more fruits to go through. The next fruit we're looking for is the fruit of figs, okay? Figs represent Mazel. It's a Sefirot of Netzach. Netzach means a victory. Netzach means when you achieve something, it's an achievement. And realistically in life, Netzach is luck. That's right. It's just plain luck, You know how Jewish people tell Mazel Tov to each other. What really that means is Mazel Tov. Have a good luck. We wish you such a great luck in achieving what you want. And it's actually quite a magical word in its own. So we're looking for luck, and I'm looking to where I want to put. And you know what? I, for some reason, want to go a little bit down the trunk. We're talking about fruits, but sometimes, just want to give you a heads up, your intuition will tell you, why can't we put something on the bottom? And guess what? You can. This is called resources at the roots, okay? I want to give myself some luck, okay? This is an interesting part because I definitely want some luck. I want to make sure I have a great experience at this, highly awaiting play. And I'm going to give myself some luck. I'm going to give myself a circle right here. Now, I want to tell you something. I did not find a circle and then trying to work on it. You know what? I just modeled. I just projected. I want to put some luck here, and that's what I did. I just drew a circle on my own, took a space in the roots that I'm looking for to give resources, and just drew some circle. This is actually a special lesson. It's called modeling in Neurographic, where we're not just relying on resources, but we're saying, thank you, God, for the wonderful resources you give me. And guess what? We start asking God. We start telling God, God, can you maybe help us here? We would like to see some luck here. Now, if you ask me, what does it mean to be in this side of the roots? I have no idea. But what I do know is I learned to follow my intuition, and I learned to trust my intuition and to tell myself that if I want to put luck here, that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to hurry up because I understand we all have some time and we need to figure that out and we need to work together. So I'm going to quickly tell you other resources without even rounding them one by one. I'm going to put 3 more resources, tell you what it's all about, and then you can curve them out on your own. And then an important aspect is to color those resources, okay? I will give you at the very end an example of what that tree may look like. So the next resource we're looking for is Yisod. It's Sefirot Yisod. And the fruit that it's associated with, the next Sefirot is Od, and it's associated with the fruit of pomegranate, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful fruit. And I want to put it here, okay? This is my pomegranate. Okay, my fruit of pomegranate is going to be here. This was Netzach. And this was going to be Od. Od, the Sefirah represents, this Sefirah represents splendor. It represents success. For success you're looking for, you're going to use the Sefirah. This is the resource of Od, and it corresponds to the fruit of pomegranate, okay? So I'm going to give you also some insight into coloring. After we finish, you can color all those fruits. And the way to color them is you can actually take the fruit, for example, pomegranate. What color is pomegranate? That's right, it's deep, you know, deep red. Actually, it's similar to this paper that I'm holding the background to my picture. And this is what, you know, you can use, or you can just intuitively color any way you want to. This is art, so you're free to color the way you want to. The next fruit is going to be the fruit of olives, right? Olives are a wonderful, interesting fruit because what happens with olives? If you take olives by itself, they're quite bitter. You don't eat olives by itself. But what you can do is there are two ways to eat olives, right? You can either pickle them, and then you eat pickled olives, right? Regular marinated olives. Or what other way we can use olives is a more, you know, a more complicated way is when olives are taken and they're pressed down. We have olive oil, one of the most amazing, one of the best oils there is. And olives represent the resource that's given to us, but we need to work on it, right? We can't just take and eat olives. We need to work on it. We need to transform it into something useful. And that's a representation of foundation. That's a foundation. That's actually money. Money is associated with olives. So you know what? I want to draw some olives resource right here. Okay, I'm not going to curve it out now. And this is going to be olives. This is going to be Yisod. Yisod means foundation. And last resource I'm going to give you before I let you go is the Malchut. Malchut is the actual goal. This is what we're looking for. All the steps, all those resources we gave ourselves was to reach Malchut. Malchut is the actual realization of what you're looking for, of your quest, okay? Malchut means royalty. Malchut means kingdom. And Malchut means in our life, to talk about regular practical life, abundance, right? We're all looking for abundance. And I'm thinking, looking at it intuitively, where do I want to put Malchut? And something is telling me, I always like to make Malchut as a big resource, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a nice big circle. And the next step you're going to do, you're going to curve everything out, round out all those intersections. And I can see that my time is coming up, and round out all those intersections. What you can do next is you're going to add some colors and draw a beautiful picture. I'm going to show you a picture that I recently drew with my students. It was the same topic, Tu B'Shvat, and we drew also we also drew the Sefirot. I'm going to pick it up. Let me see. Yeah. I'm going to pick up my camera because I want to say goodbye to you guys. I had a blast teaching you. Thank you so much for joining me and my colleagues. It was wonderful. 1 second. I'm just going to make sure I'm not upside down. As much as I want to be walking on the clouds, I think it's important for me to come back to the earth. And this is what I finished. This is what I painted in my other class. You see, all the 7 Sefirot. And by the way, you can add yourself some more resources. But this is amazing. You see all those resources and on the tree. Okay, I am telling you goodbye, but this is not really goodbye. I'm just saying so long. Please join us for other classes. Join our school. We're looking forward to present you with more opportunities and more trainings. Thank you. Alex, are you taking over?
Большое тебе спасибо. Да, я забираю тебя. I'm sorry, I'm taking the video from you. And we are starting to close our conference. Thank you very much, Lana. And here we are. We are at the final hour. Lana was the last presenter. We are very, very happy to see you all visiting us. We are grateful for your insightful questions, for your effort and perseverance staying with us till this late hour. We hope you post your works. We will have prizes for those who post the best work in our opinion, which will be a collective opinion. We will also have a special group for postings of work, which will be created today. And please sign up to all of our classes, come to individual instructors, ask questions, and just be in touch. We'd love to hear from you. If you don't have any last questions, we will finish now. All right, so far I don't see any other questions besides thank yous. Great. And Lana saying Sefirot is great for those who wanted to know. It's better to me suddenly. But the Kabbalah subject is fascinating, and Lana knows a lot. So definitely ask her. And Suzanne, ask Lana questions in direct message on Facebook. She will be happy to help you. Very well. Don't see anybody else asking questions. So we are closing. Lana, do you have any last comments before I close? So you can, you are sending messages to me, by the way, Lana. You should change from to.
Oh, I see now. Okay.
We are grateful again. And Lana is grateful as well in writing as well as in audio. Wonderful. And thus we conclude. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.